Hey all, thanks for joining today. Really appreciate it. Trying to do these live streams a bit more often. Of course, didn't have one, I think last week. Just had some stuff going on and had to skip it. But here we are today, and I thought we would take a look at something called the Good Karma Kit set up this morning. Basically, the idea is if you got extra hardware laying around, or if you've got hardware that isn't really being utilized all that well, you can kind of dedicate or contribute some of your extra resources, whether it's CPU cycles or memory, or not memory, but CPU cycles or hard drive space, bandwidth, things like that. If you got extra that you can contribute, we want to talk about just a little way to do some of that this morning. So let's take a look. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Everything is going well, I think. Let me know if my audio sounds good. That would be great. I'd really appreciate that. Um, Hey, JFL, thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate that. Again, hopefully you guys can hear me. Well, yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me. My audio says it's doing stuff, but if you guys could let me know in the chat that everything is working the way we want it to, that'd be super helpful for us to be able to move along here. Hello. um, I actually wondered about that if there were other people on the other link. Let me let me see if I can't fix that. Hey Zappy, thanks for joining again this morning. Much appreciated there. Always good to see people coming back. Um, let me two waiting. Let me grab this, copy that. Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know the audio is good. URL changed to this. There we go. All right. Well, hopefully the couple of people waiting over there on the other URL will get that message, and we'll jump over here and join us for what we've got going on today. I figure we may as well just kind of jump into this, and we'll just spend some time kind of talking about what's going on here and that sort of thing. So, let me close that, and then we'll jump over to my top desktop here. And I want to move myself over to here. All right. So with that being said, what we're taking a look at here is something from Archivebox called the Good Karma Kit. Awesome new, super stoked you got that sorted. I know you were having some issues with that login screen the other day, so super stoked you got that working there. So if you guys are ever running into issues with things, I do have a Discord set up. In fact, there'll be links popping up periodically for that. Where you can jump over to Discord. Of course, we do have a tech support area. However, we'd like you to be a part of the community, so don't just jump over there for tech support. It'd be cool if you just joined the community, chatted with us. If you need tech support, that's cool too. But of course, we're always looking to grow the community so we can all help each other out rather than just a couple of people doing most of the tech support. So, all right, so here we are. We're on Archivebox's Good Karma Kit over on GitHub up here. This should be available in the description down below. If not, I just posted it right there. So basically, like it says right here, it's a Docker Compose project to run on servers with spare CPU, disk, and bandwidth. You can help the world by contributing your unused computing power to good causes. So this is fairly straightforward, although I don't really like the way this page is laid out. There is one thing I wanted to show down here. Um, so basically, you know what? I lied. Let's go back up to here. So if we come up to here, this is just laid out better, in my opinion. The instructions are very clear as far as how all of this works and that sort of thing. But basically, it's a collection of containers that contribute to public good projects. We've got, for instance, for networks, we've got Tor and I2P. For computing, we've got Boink and Folding at Home. For archiving, we've got Archive Warrior, Zimfarm, QX, Archivebox, and PYWB. For storage, we've got IPFS, storage, SIA, and transmission. And you can kind of pick and choose which of these you'd like to install on your system very, very easily, so that you can just contribute to the projects that you want to contribute to. So if we scroll down, there are some caveats here saying most of these containers, you're contributing resources to the public or to the specific causes, unless otherwise specified or restricted to this. In the compose file, all ports should be made available to the public internet. So we may have to do some port forwarding. There's so much. There's so many different variables to that. We're going to skip that for right now. You're going to have to figure out port forwarding on your own, because it's different from case to case, person to person, place to place, that sort of thing. Newt, thanks for joining. Sorry you couldn't stay longer, but I'm glad you did. Stop by for a little while. Appreciate that. And so if we scroll down a little further here, we can see that if there are too many containers for your liking, the top 3 high impact and easy to run ones are ArchiveWire, Boink, and Tor. So we'll go ahead and kind of scroll down a little further here. We'll talk about the different containers that are available in this. So for Auto Updater, we've got Watchtower. This is basically, you should be familiar with Watchtower at this point. Basically, what it does is it periodically checks for updates on all of your containers, and you can configure it to check at certain times, update automatically, just send notifications for updates, things like that. So there are a few different things that you can do with that, but we definitely want that. We want to make sure that all of our containers stay updated. Below that, we've got Tor. Of course, everybody's familiar with Tor right now, whether you're finding sites like the dark, or finding sites like Silk Road, which I hope you're not, or you're helping people in other countries who are being silenced by their government, who are then relying on Tor networks to reach out and communicate with the outside world. Tor is definitely an option that you can set up on here if you want to. I would just say be careful with Tor, because if you're an exit node, you can run into issues legally depending on where you are and what kind of traffic is coming through your IP address. That may have changed since last I heard, but just know that there are some risks associated with Tor. Oh, never mind. This does not run as a guard or /exit node, only a middle read. Okay, so ignore everything I just said there. I should have kept reading. So you should be fine to run this, because it's not an exit node. It's just kind of a hopping from one node to another before it reaches an exit node to obfuscate your traffic even further. I2P, I'm actually not familiar with I2P, to be completely honest. A relay node for the I2P routing network. So basically the same idea. It looks like this won't be necessarily an exit node, but just another hop along the network. So we'll definitely take a look at both of those. Below that, we've got Boink. I actually did a video about this a while back, several months ago, actually. Actually, about the same time Linus did one of his first Boink videos, and his videos just trashed mine. So I didn't get many views on that one, but Boink is an option if you want to donate CPU and GPU resources for processing, for universities and things like that. You can definitely do that sort of thing. Folding at home is kind of similar. You can contribute CPU power, and it looks like this one's operated by a research group in Washington University in St. Louis, and they are a 501c3 if you're interested in doing that, versus Boink, which is operated by a not-for-profit at Berkeley. So whichever of those you want to pick, I would pick one. I wouldn't do both, probably. Let's see. We've got Archive Warrior for archiving internet projects. Help contribute CPU and bandwidth to archive parts of the internet automatically before they go down. Has helped save large swaths of the internet from going dark forever by adding them to archive.org. I really dig the idea of doing that. That's pretty cool. Being able to let your browser or let your system archive stuff like that's pretty neat in my opinion. Zimfarm is very similar, it looks like, in that regard. Help contribute CPU and bandwidth to archive large content collections for offline use in areas with limited internet. So kind of similar. Helps many communities access things like Wikipedia, Project Gutenberg, and more. operated by a Swiss nonprofit, not a 501c3, but they may have a different designation over there in Switzerland. Um, what else? Oh, so here's the problem with Zimfarm, I guess, as I'm reading here. This requires a static IP, which I know are kind of hard to come by these days. Also, more than a terabyte of monthly network transfer available. Um, so you'd actually have to contact them to get your workers set up. So we're definitely going to skip. Oh, sorry, that's for QX. Um, so we're going to skip QX just entirely. It does basically the same thing as far as archiving the internet, but we're going to skip that one because it requires a static IP and a terabyte of network transferable bandwidth. So we're going to go ahead and skip that one. This one requires you to download the some Zim archives to serve to. So those are that's for the setup process of Archive Box. Oh wait, they're just kind of garbage about this because like all of this is attached to this. I feel like this needs to be somewhere down here. So Archive Box. Um, so you can add sites to Archive Box to archive or crawl regularly using WebUI or CLI. PyWeb, I'm guessing, is a tool to archive sites that you care about for offline visiting or rehosting after they go down. Open source project, not for profit. So there's that. We've got IPFS, which is distributed storage projects or under distributed storage projects. We're in a storage node for the IPFS distributed storage network and pin files you care about to help serve them to others. So they are a for-profit. So I don't know if you want to contribute to that. That's definitely something to take into consideration, whether or not you want to contribute to them. And then we've got storage, run a storage node for profit on the storage distributed network, automatically contribute your storage space and bandwidth to earn cryptocurrency in return. So I think we would actually need, we would need to set up a wallet for that. But it looks like if we jump over to here and take a look, you can start for free. You can sign in. How it works. Step one. Okay, decline. Nope, all the files are encrypted. It looks like it's using an AES 256 GCM symmetric encryption, which I don't know what all that means, other than it's a very high bit encryption, so that's good. Why is this important? Only you should own your data, so that's good. And can I revoke privileges? Yep, you have complete control over any of the stuff you're doing there. Below that, we're going to step 2, encrypted objects are split into smaller pieces. And retrieving the file. Okay, so each file gets split into 80 pieces. So they've got some redundancy there so that you only need 29 of those pieces to rebuild everything. Splitting the files yields unparalleled performance and durability because it's using a decentralized architecture to improve out-of-the-box security. So what I find interesting about storage here is if you watched my video about Cubit here a while back, let me jump back over. I really need to get a. So basically, they're using the storage and Cubit are using the same technology as far as decentralizing their data and splitting the data into multiple pieces for faster transmission, which I always dug about the concept behind Cubit, but I didn't like the way they were handling other things, so that's why I didn't go that route. But being able to gain access to everything that you need by splitting it up this way and making it so that you only need a small portion of those pieces, I kind of dig that. So is it secure? Again, they're using this 256-bit encryption. That's good. Where are the nodes? 10,000 nodes are being hosted in 84 countries. How many files are stored on? Okay, so we talked about that. There's going to be 80, but 51 of those could go offline at any time and still have access to the data. And how are they selected? By reputation and local latency. So if you wanted to contribute to that, you'd want to make sure you had a good internet speed and a low ping to your, let's say, your speed tests, things like that. Probably less than 20 milliseconds would be ideal. I don't know if it actually says that. Okay, so we've already talked about that. Doesn't matter. So yeah, if you wanted to do that, you could definitely get started, sign up for an account here, set up a wallet, do all of that kind of thing. And yeah, and then attach it to your account here, it looks like. Below that, we've got transmission. We're not going to talk about transmission necessarily because it's YouTube, and transmission is used for. I see it. I always tell people to use transmission. If you're going to use transmission, to do it for things like, sharing ISOs of Linux distros or things like that. That's all open source. Because if you start meddling in downloading things you shouldn't, then things get messy, and then I get community guideline strikes on my account. So if we talk about transmission, it's only for the sake of storing and distributing Linux distros and things like that to help there be more bandwidth available for the people who need it to download Linux distros and, again, that sort of stuff. So with all of that being said, does anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, or anything like that before we move on to the actual installation process of how we're going to go about all of this? I would love to get some participation over here in the chat if you've got questions or comments or anything like that. Okay, well, nothing. That's fine. No worries there. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll clear back up to the top, like so. And so basically what we're going to do is we're just going to run a few commands. So the first one we're going to run is a curl command so that we can download this docker compose.yml file. So here I've got the Windows terminal up and running here. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in there. Oops. Okay. So I don't have curl installed on there. So we'll do apt install curl. And we'll give that a second to do its thing. That should go pretty quickly. All right, so let's run that command again. All right, so it's downloaded that file. Now, what we want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and clear that, and we'll do nano docker compose.yml. And so basically what we're going to do is we're just going to scroll down, and we're going to make some decisions on what we want to run and what we don't want to run. So the first thing we've got here, tell you what, let's make that full screen. The first thing we've got here is Watchtower. We do want Watchtower. That's going to be important to make sure that all of our containers stay updated. And it's pretty standard. Container, we're running the container / Watchtower image. The scope is the good karma kit. Volumes, we're just connected to the Docker socket so that it can do what it needs to do. Below that, we've got Tor. Again, we've got our image will be the Tor project. This is going to be OFS 4-bridge. And then we've got some ports below that. And I believe, again, we would need to forward these ports from our modem to our router. We've got two different units there. And then that would then get pointed to our server. We would want it 93, 93, 92, 92 for both of those. Over here, we've got an email address. So I'll go ahead and fix that to be my email address. Man. Like so. Below that, we've got a volume. We're actually going to map that volume to a folder that we're going to create here in just a moment. And here you can modify the settings for CPUs. How many cores do you want to give it? 2 is fine for what I've got going on here. Memory limit, 2 gigs. Again, you can change that to be more or less, whatever you need to do there. Restart on failure, that's fine. Labels, they've got that in there for that, so that's fine. Below that, again, we've got another just network like Tor called I2P, and below that we've got either DivX I2P image. Below that we've got some more ports for 77, 44, 44, 44, 45, and 9050. Let's see, proxy port would be 8080 if you wanted that. Again, 2 CPU cores, 2 gigs of RAM. Restart on failure. Blank. So this one would be, again, this is kind of sharing resources, that sort of thing. This one, again, we're going to map it to this data folder here. And below that, we've got 4 CPU cores by default. I think I'm only going to give that 2, just because. And I'm going to give this 2 gigs of RAM. Of course, the more you can give, the better. But I'm just kind of running through everything here. Again, we've got folding at home, which is kind of similar to Boink. So I don't know if you want to duplicate that as far as that's concerned. But you could if you wanted to. Again, it's got 4 gigs, or sorry, 4 gigs. Well, yeah, it's got 4 gigs, 2048, and oops. And of course, let's just give that one 2 gigs. Archive Warrior. This one wants 3 CPU cores. Again, I'm going to change this to a 4.8. So basically, for Archive Warrior, you would need to set up a nickname here and a worker ID. I'm just going to call this dbtech ls for Livestream. We'll do the same thing over here, dbtech ls. Concurrent items 3, selected project is just auto. So whatever it thinks, whatever Archive Warrior thinks it needs to work on, that's what it's going to work on for you. Zimfarm, they've actually got this one all commented out, so I'm just going to leave it. If you wanted to do this one though, you could just come over to here and just go ahead and uncomment the lines that are relevant here, like so. Like that, but again, we're just going to go ahead and leave it like that. So yeah, and then below that we've got this KillX. We're actually going to go ahead and cancel that one out. I don't want to do that one because I've got enough other stuff running on here at the moment. Like so, and then Archive Box. Let's just leave this one as it is for right now, I think. But basically, this is going to run. This is Archive Box's official image. We're going to run that on port 9595. Public index is true. Public snapshots, public add view, true and false respectively. CPUs is going to be 2 and 20. Oops, 4, 8. There we go. And restart on failure. Let's see. Oh, so this is web recorder. I guess that's what WB is there. So that makes sense. We can go ahead and leave that. Again, they want a lot of CPU cores and memory for those. So I'm just going to go ahead and change all of that. And then we've got IPFS. This one, that one I guess we can leave as is. And then storage, I actually want to get rid of storage because you need to set up an account for that. I don't want to do that right now. And SIA, I think we can go ahead and leave that, although that looks fine. And transmission, again, I'm going to go ahead and kill transmission here because I don't want to deal with any of the possible repercussions from YouTube. All right, so once we've got our, do this, there we go. So once we've got our file set up the way we want, we can save it, close it, and then move on to the next steps. So basically what we're going to do there is do a Control X. Oops, you need to click up here. Control X and click Save. And yes, like so. And then we're good to go. So the next step for this, let's minimize that, bring it down a little bit. The next thing we need to do is actually create a data directory. You may have seen in several of those little sections that the volume for that was like /data and then / whatever the project was. So what we're going to do is actually we're going to create that data folder that we're going to use there. And then we're going to do Docker compose up. Compose up. I could type this morning. Let's just leave it like that. Hit enter. All right. So now all of that is going to download and do its thing. So there are a couple of different ways that you can obviously verify that everything is working. When you're done, you can do a Docker PS. In fact, it actually shows right down here. You do Docker compose PS. And then you can do an htop if you wanted to do that. We've also got Portainer up and running on this server, so you can go in there and check it that way as well. And that's probably how I will do things, but we're just going to have to let this kind of sit and do its thing in the background while we're while it's just downloading and extracting and doing all of that kind of stuff. So, man, you know what? Have I need some sort of a split screen thing here that I should set up at some point. But I guess for right now, I can just do this. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I guess we can just do this for right now, I suppose. Oops, nope, not that. There we go. Almost done. Here we go. All right. Oops, bring that up to there. All right, there we go. Thanks for your patience. I appreciate it. Now that we've kind of gone through all of that, let me know, like, is there any of this you got questions on or thoughts or opinions on? I'd love to chat about that while we're running all of this stuff in the background. Just let me know if you've got anything you'd like to contribute here. Okay, guys, really nothing. More than 20 people in here and nobody's got anything to say. All right, that's fine. So let's see, where are we now? So we're doing the PYWB up here. So we'll go ahead and give that a minute to do its thing, I think. So let's go over to nothing's actually going to be here yet, but I got to figure out which. Interesting. All right, so it had some issues setting up Archive Warrior. It looked like, so let's do an if config. Oops, do IP show. Oof, oof. So many in there. Holy cow. Just scroll all the way back up. 133. That's what I thought. 192.168.1.133 or 9,000. All right, so let's see what's going on in here. Okay, so it looks like we have. Hey, Francesco. Uh, no worries, JVL. Just glad you're here. Hopefully you're following along. If not, I've done literally more than 100 videos on Docker and setting up Docker containers, that sort of thing. So hopefully that will help you kind of understand what's going on here. Oops, let's drag that back down to there, and let's do some more resizing here. Oops, so maybe there we go. And this. There we go. Okay, so basically, if we take a look here, we can see that I2P is running, Watchtower is running, Boink is running. Let's see, can we do anything over here? From there. So it's starting a Guacamole Light. It's listening on port 8080. Let's see. Page not found. That looks like a traffic uh, dashboard there. Watched a few videos. Hey, Danny, thanks. I appreciate that. Always glad to see people watching the content there. Um, let's see. Anything else in there? Nope, nothing. All right, so we're going to go. Let's take a look at folding at home. Okay, so it looks like folding at home is running, completing 1 out of 5 million steps. So that's going to be a little while before before it does much of anything there, I think. Um, so I'm glad to see that that is up and running. That was folding. I don't know that either of those ports actually do anything. Doesn't look like it. Nope. So, but it is running in the background. I'm glad to see that. There is a desktop app you can get for folding at home, I believe, where you can monitor this on your desktop versus doing it via the the logs here. But basically, you can come in here and take a look. Let's see. So this is running on port 8080. It looks like all of this seems to be working. So let's 404 not found. That was IPFS. Tor. Let's see if Tor is doing anything here. See warnings above. So this, I'm not surprised that this failed because it needs some port forwarding done. Again, for port 93, 93, 94, 94, I think, on that one. Uh, let's see. Oh, okay. So let's take a look at this. See, no, I should have done this first. Okay, so that has done something there. Let's go back. Portainer obviously is running. Let's take a look and see what happened here. So it looks like it was trying to do something. Let's do a restart here. See if we get any better results. Starting. Same end result there. What was our error message on that? Oh, it's set up here. Cannot create container for service. Memory limit allowed is 4 megs. So maybe I just screwed something up in there. Let's look at our environmental variables here. Index, add view. Well, there's nothing. Hey, 60 plus. Thanks for stopping by. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see. I don't know why this isn't doing what I want it to. So basically, at this point, what we can do is kind of come back and decide which containers we want to run and which containers we don't. I really feel like for let's stay on the stream for long. Thanks for helping us develop with it. Oh, that's awesome. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but um, I'm sad to hear that you don't have a DevOps team at work. That sucks. Um, but I'm glad my videos have been helpful. Of course, if you guys ever have questions about things, content you'd like to see, I would love to see you guys putting those in the comments, whether it's here or whether it's on other videos. Requesting content, I think you can go to my community tab and request content there. I've also got a Discord server if you want to jump into the Discord server. That link has popped up several times in the chat through the bots. In fact, right there, it just did it as though it was magic. So if you're interested in requesting content, you can do that via Discord or on video comments, things like that. If you so definitely don't be afraid to ask for that kind of stuff. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to undo some of these. I'm just going to stop those. I bet it does. I bet that does. Like I can't imagine a company that needed a DevOps not having DevOps for their business. That's just crazy. I mean, maybe I don't. Let's see, archive box. I don't know. Um, I don't think there is a systems tab. All of that should have been set up. Although maybe it was over here. Here, not gonna be in volumes. Not gonna be in network. Not in environments. Labels maybe. Container number. Nope. Resources. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's set to 2 gigs and 2 cores. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. As far as any idea how to pass GPU and USB to VM on Cockpit, so Cockpit is actually on my list of things to take a look at because I like the idea of being able to deploy a VM via Portainer. I really do dig that idea, and I'd love to actually do something like that. In fact, I've got a list somewhere on my desktop with that in there um, as far as a topic idea to cover. As far as I don't know at this point how to pass GPU and USB through on something like that at this point. I'm sorry, but I will definitely take a look and see what that looks like. Um, but yeah, so as far as this container is concerned, I'm not sure why it was having an issue there, but it was. So there you go. Um, So again, I think Tor is running. No, Tor isn't running because we need to forward those ports. Right. Yeah. Nope. I found it. But thank you for that. I2P. Let's see. Yeah. So this one, unfortunately, because I don't have port forwarding set up on this, it's not going to run for the time being. This um, is up and running, and of course, there's nothing in here if you wanted to, which I would actually encourage because last time I looked or last time I checked or whatever, a container runs every like 5 minutes, and hub.docker.com put in some restrictions to to restrict how many times you could pull from their server in a given day. So I've got mine set up to just pull once a week. I haven't done that here, obviously, but on my main server, I've got it set up to pull 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon to update stuff. So let's take a look at Boink. I think Boink is okay. So it should be up and running. So let's actually, you know what we can do here? We can come into here. I'll just set this to 1 second. And Boink may not ever run on this current setup if other stuff on the system is taking up more than like 25% of the system resources. Here you can see it jumped to 0.1%, but it's entirely possible um, that it may not ever run if other stuff is using more resources than the configuration allows for Boink to enable. So here it looks like, where are we? This IPFS is up and running. Here we can see that it's actually using some CPU stat or some CPU. It's using some memory. I'm kind of surprised these numbers aren't going up. Oh, there it went up a little bit. So it is. It's going up a little bit there. Um, so it looks to me, based on what I'm seeing here, that IPFS is running. Okay, so there it jumped up. So it looks like that one's definitely running there. Um, Boink probably isn't. Tor again won't be running because we don't have port forwarding set up on this, so that's not going to do anything. I tell you what, let's start this one back up. This folding at home, and then let's see. Oh, completed 21,000 out of 5 million. So it was actually doing something there. We're going to go ahead and let that one run, I suppose, and we'll come back over to here and we'll go ahead and update this. Holy cow! It's and that this this is why Boink wasn't running, or why it probably won't run is because I've got this one using a fair amount of system resources there. This is one of those cases where you want to pick and choose what you want to run. I think with folding at home up and running, then I can go ahead and go ahead and just stop that one. I'll give that a second to do its thing there. There we go. So what did Archive Box say? Okay. So I tell you what, let's do this. So that was, oops, where was it? That was Archive Box. Okay, well, let's go ahead and run this one again, and then maybe we'll have to run a command to actually get it up and running. 3 VMs, they work great. It's easy to set up. But pass-through devices is a pain. So how to make RetroArch web. So if I'm understanding correctly, 60 plus, you're asking about running like a container that would run like RetroArch in it. I don't know. I'm sure it's possible. I've seen where people have started doing, have started putting together containers for retro gaming, that sort of thing. I don't know that if they've actually accomplished that though. Paste that. Maybe this will give us what we want to do. We run as root. Okay. So user. I don't know that there is another user that I can run that as. Admin, I guess. Connect. Nope. So it won't let me run as root or admin. Okay, manage. Maybe. Nope. There's a ready-made image. There's an official. Interesting. Well, that's. I'm just gonna kind of store that. Yeah, for there. Um, Man, it looks like there's actually a few different retro arch um, game folder. Okay, it looks like there are a few different options as far as RetroArch is concerned. And maybe we'll take a look at this one here later on, but this one was updated 11 days ago. So I think what you'd need to do is mount a folder uh, to uh, to that, and you could either deploy it via CLI command line, or you could just set it up as a Docker compose. But I will definitely take a look at that. That actually sounds like something that might be interesting, because then you could theoretically um, game on the go and just have your dedicated server set up at home. So that might be something. That might be something that we'll take a look at in another video. So this one, I don't know why. Okay, so Archive Box isn't going to work for me right now. I'm going to have to do some more troubleshooting on that. Let's see, does this one give us any particular? I think with this one, let's start this one back up. XIA, let's see what this one says. API is now available. It's that one. Just open all of those, and none of those are going to do anything. That's awesome. Um, so I don't know if it's actually doing anything. I was actually hoping for a bit more intuitiveness with this, based on how it was supposed to run, but it doesn't seem to be super intuitive on some of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it as well. And then let's take another look at this last one here. Well, let's just run that one again and give it another look. That one. I don't know if it's actually going to give us a dashboard. It did not. Starting, what the heck? Oh, I'm on the wrong. Starting a Gevin server on port 8080. Huh. Okay, well, there we go, I guess. So we've got IGP up and running, Watchtower, folding at home, IPFS, Tor. Let's actually go ahead and stop that one. So we do have some stuff up and running. We're contributing our cycles, our resources, our bandwidth, our storage space, things like that. Just running this Docker compose file right here. And then, of course, creating a data folder for everything to go into. I suppose at this point, what we could do, and then we can do ls, and then we can see cd into data, and then ls. And then we can actually see all of the different stuff going on there. So we can do cd into archive box. And it looks like, so there's nothing there. Let's do a nano into archive box. There's my secret key, I guess, if anybody's interested in that. So yeah, so anyway, let's do that. Let's do cd. Let's look into point. So it looks like this is up and running, or there it was at one point. So we'll do cd folding at home and ls. So it looks like this one actually kind of lets us. Let's do nano cpus.txt. So here it looks like this is going to be a list of all of the different GPUs that this setup supports. So well done on them for that. Looks like they've got a lot of AMD stuff here first. Let's see, there's lots of really old AMD stuff in there. I have to wonder if they're going to have any. I mean, I would assume they would have NVIDIA stuff at some point. I think I saw a typo. That's more NVIDIA or AMD Radeon. Let's see. Martin says, I have a problem with OMV. My installation is full. due to Docker image, I guess. Okay, so Martin, what you should probably do, you're not going to be able to move your Portainer instance to a different disk, at least not easily or efficiently. What I would actually suggest you do, let me actually exit out of here. Let's do this and let's do cd. Clear that again. So what I suggest you would do, Martin, would be like Docker system purge -a, like so, and hit enter. Oops, I did that backwards. It's Docker prune. I always do purge instead of prune. Prune. And then basically, like it says here, it's going to, all of your stopped containers, all networks that aren't being used by at least one container, all images that aren't being used or have one container associated with them, and any of your build cache will be cleared out. So you say yes to that and hit enter. Then it's going to go through and delete some stuff and clear some stuff up. And then if we give this a second, it'll actually tell us, you can see I just reclaimed about 4 gigs of hard drive space on my system here. So I would start by doing that, Martin, just to clear up some space that isn't needed or that doesn't need to be used at this point. And then the other thing you might consider doing, if you open up your Open Media Vault, set up here. And we'll give this a second to log me in. Oops, really? Try that again. I may not have ever actually changed that password. I didn't. Oops. There we go. So then if I scroll down a little bit and if I go to OMV Extras and go to Docker, here you can see the Portainer is right here. Advanced. Nope. So where was it? Oh, right here. It's Docker storage. So what I would encourage you to do once you've cleared up your once you've cleared everything out by running this Docker prune or Docker system prune -a and saying yes and clearing up all your and freeing up this hard drive space, is I would go into here and map this somewhere else. Because what it's going to do is download all of your image files to the root of your operating system. And if that fills up, then you can't log in, you can't do anything else. So I would move that somewhere else. I'd map that somewhere else. Zappy is absolutely right there as well. Sometimes, in fact, let me see if I can show you this on my system. If I come over to images, actually, I just think I cleaned all this up. I did. But sometimes there's an issue with Portainer at the moment. If you don't declare like latest or a specific tag on there, it will often download all of the tags. So you may only want to download, organizer's latest, which is 68 megs, but it may download all of the different versions of it, and it may download 50 of them, and all of a sudden now you're using like 3 gigs versus 68 megs. So it's definitely something to be aware of. Don't just when you go in and create a stack or however you want to build them, make sure you put a specific tag on the end to help prevent that from happening. Otherwise, Portainer has got a bug in it where it may end up downloading multiple versions of the same image that you don't need. Let's see, there's a plugin, an Open Media Vault merge folders allows to link folders on different disks. I don't know that you can split your Docker folder. And I said I don't know. I'm guessing by the way that this is this Docker storage right here. There may be like there's this as an option maybe. So let's do this. Let's see if I can just do a nano in that. Yeah. So here you may be able to manipulate this daemon.json file to have multiple options there. I don't know if that's how that would work. I've never actually had anybody ask me that. Never crossed my mind, so I've never looked into it. But you may be able to do something custom in here. In fact, if you wonder where that link came from, that URL came from, go to Open Media Vault, go to OMV Extras, go to Docker, and then leave blank to use custom, and then right there is that daemon.json file. um, so so anyway, that's how you would do that. There was one other thing wasn't in here. Um, so yeah, hopefully that helps. Sorry, I couldn't give you a more solid answer on that. How can you connect through a terminal to Docker inst? Wait, what? How can I connect through a terminal to Docker installed in OMV? So Docker isn't installed in OMV. Um, Docker is installed on Linux. So in order, so basically you can just do like, just clear my screen here. I can just do Docker PS, and like that will show me. Oops. Wait, let me do that again. That'll show me all of the containers that I have up and running. You can do Docker PS htop. Oops. Maybe. Where did that go? I think I saw it over here. Oh no. Let's try that. Paste anyway. There we go. Um, so here you can kind of see what's going on there. So yeah, so Docker isn't installed in Open Media Vault. Just like Portainer, if you update Portainer, it will not affect your other containers. Portainer is just a Docker container that gives you a graphical user interface to manage other Docker containers. So it is a container in and of itself that doesn't, if you modify it, won't affect your other containers. So so just something to keep in mind there as well. So let's minimize that or clean that and come back over to here. So that's, oh man, yeah, I have not done anything with this. So let me actually come into here. Let's see that and save that and change this. Like so. We'll go ahead and save that. It'll say apply, and we'll say yes. It was logging me out after 5 minutes, and I didn't like using the default password. So those have both been updated, and now we'll go ahead and save those. Give that a second to do its thing, and then I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have as far as any of that's concerned for the next few minutes. So let's see. Let me connect to a container console. Oh, right. That maybe that was what they were asking. Um, that's actually a good point. Maybe that's what Luca was asking there. So basically, if I come back over, I'm logged in over here. So let's actually try this. I'm just gonna paste. Oops. So that was the next test. So basically, let me make sure this works before I try to. Let's do root i2 p underscore on. Oops. Okay, so let's try root tor underscore one. I'm going to control your container by a command line. Yeah, you're going to do something like similar to Docker exec, and then the basically you should be able to do it this way. I'll just paste a link in here. Theoretically, that's how you would do that. I've just always gone into Portainer, and just found whatever I was looking for. Connect to the console there and click connect, and then it lets me just do whatever I want to there as long as it's available. Maybe let's see if I can do this. Okay. Yeah, so that's I like 60 plus TVs saying there. Like, I just always come up to here, find the container that I want to work on. If I in fact let's come over to here. And then I would just go in here and click connect. And then right there is my terminal window where I can do basically whatever I want to do um, from there. But that's how I've always done it. I know that there are ways that you can do it via SSH. I guess I'm just lazy, so that's just how I do it here. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's close that. That's my personal server. Let's check. Check 5.2. That's all correct. Network is all fine. Let's see. That's also true. You're absolutely right, Zappy. Some just don't have shell, and I think you may have to rebuild the Docker file to change that. There may be a way to change it other ways. Um, go and duplicate and edit. I think I've seen a way in the past. Capabilities. It may be in here. I can't remember off the top of my head. Um, yeah, as long as the container was set up to have shell enabled, you should be able to do it either of those ways. If you can't connect to it, it's because shell isn't enabled. So that's a really good point. So I tell you what, let's just do this and let's see what Linux servers got new new today or new recently. WebTop. What is WebTop? Full desktop environments and fully supported flavors. Huh. All right, that's kind of cool. Might have to take a look at WebTop one of these days. Jellyfin, MB, Book Sonic. More nothing new in here. Firefox as a container, huh? It's an interesting idea. Man, I guess if you wanted to be super, yeah, I guess if you wanted to be super secure and run your browser in a container, you could do it that way. I've never actually thought about doing that, but I suppose you could if you wanted to. Has anybody done this in the chat? Has anybody run Firefox in a Docker container? I'd be curious to know about that. Workbench, Fleet. What is Fleet? Fleet sounds fairly new, but maybe not. Fleet provides an online web interface which displays a set of maintained images from one or more owned repositories. Interesting. All right. Boink, we actually just talked about that one. Endless SSH, we've talked about that one recently. That one didn't do as well as I was hoping, but I guess they can't all be winners. Darktable, what is Darktable? Never actually heard about that one. Oh, it's a photography workflow application and raw developer. Okay. Right, 60 plus. That's kind of what I was thinking. A browser and a browser. Like, I would wonder if you were using Chrome to access Firefox, if that would still track your input. I don't know. Overseer is good for requesting content on Plex. IPFS, we just kind of talked about a minute ago. We've talked about, I did a video on Home Assistant. It wasn't good. I should redo it. Duplicati, I've done videos on. Lychee, I've done videos on. Videos on a lot of these. Grav, I have not. You know, JFL, the only thing I can think of is that if you wanted to set it up or set up a container with Firefox in it to just browse something short term, something that you wouldn't want showing up somewhere and be traceable or trackable, you could spin up a Firefox container, do what you needed to do, and then destroy that container, and then hopefully that would destroy the data associated with it. That's yeah, like 60 plus for security, but it does sound funny to do that. What was this? Oh, what file build? Okay, so file-based web platform. I think this is for building websites. Okay, Grav. Yeah, I actually should do a video on that for building websites. That might be a fun one to do. I'll have to add that to my list. Let's see. Let's take a look at a couple more here. Home automated system. Okay, so this is kind of a home. Lets you monitor and configure various devices. So this is kind of like Home Assistant, it looks like. Um, Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. We've been at this about an hour. This is kind of where I usually try to limit my live streams to about an hour, but of course they always manage to go for a couple of hours. Uh-oh, YouTube is not receiving enough data to maintain a smooth stream. That's bizarre. So that's another you're going to kind of have to let Luca, you're going to have to let that container kind of do what it's doing or log in via Portainer and manually do something there. I guess you could do, you could manage the Docker container through command line, um, but but you've already tried to stop and restart again. Then I'm going to guess if it's in a constant state of restarting, Luca, that there's something else going on that you'll need to investigate. You'll want to maybe look at your logs and see what your logs say, that sort of thing, in order to make sure that everything is set up and configured the correct way. WWBB, I guess, can be used for around block sites. You would need a VPN to do that. I don't know that just running Firefox in a container is going to do anything for you, because it's not running through a VPN. It's still going to have your IP address on it. So you need to run that through a VPN in order to do what you're talking about there. Um, I'm glad everything looks fine. Thank you for that, Tech 91. I appreciate it. Um, uh, now it says I have an excellent connection. I don't know what's going on there. Um, but of course, oh, that's awesome. My monetization's been set off or set to off this whole time. No, now it's not. I am so confused by YouTube sometimes, man. I just don't get it. But again, like I said, we've been at this about an hour. We've talked about some stuff. We set up a way to get back to several different communities. So hopefully you found this video helpful, informative, whatever. If you did, do me a favor, give the video a thumbs up, a like, whatever. That would be pretty cool. I appreciate that. So it looks like we've had a pretty good number of viewers here, 450 so far over the last hour. So I want to thank you guys all for that. Yeah, I suppose you could have the Cloudflare and all that stuff. Uh, Ancax, I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. I know. No, you can't. In order to have Cloudflare working, you would have to have a domain set up and pointed to them that is then pointed to you via either a CNAME or an A record. Um, that's the only way you can have all the Cloudflare stuff set up, is to actually run all of your DNS through Cloudflare. Unfortunately, you can't use no IP and Cloudflare in conjunction, I don't believe. So unfortunately, can't help you there. Um, but I think with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So again, thank you guys so much for hanging out today. Really do appreciate it. That's again, I'm trying to do these much more regularly every Sunday morning. It's morning for me, about 9 o'clock when I start these. I was doing them at 8, but I wanted to start them a little later. I realized at 8 o'clock it wasn't working as well for everybody. So I moved them to 9, but I'm going to try to do these every weekend moving forward as much as I can, unless I can't for some reason. But with all that said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So thanks for your time. I always appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you in the next video.